Pastor Roy Gerhardt from Galloway United Methodist Church in Franklin, Pennsylvania, sharing a few words of encouragement to help us follow after Jesus. Well, today I'm seated in front of a nativity scene and one of our banners. This banner depicts our theme for this year, that Jesus is the Prince of Peace. Isaiah told us in the 9th chapter, verse 6, that God would give to us a son who would be wonderful, a counselor, the mighty God, everlasting Father, and the Prince of Peace. This nativity scene is one of several that we have on display around the church. We have several from large to small, and each one is beautiful and unique in its own way. I love these kinds of depictions. The nativity scene seems to exude a sense of peace and calm. I can remember as a child my grandma's nativity set. It began as just the nativity set up, but then over the years it grew. Added to it was a Christmas village that itself grew and expanded year after year until it filled a huge space. There were so many different things packed into that Christmas village, some of which seemed to fit and some that didn't. But all of it was there compiled in kind of a chaotic and exciting way. But in the middle of it was still that nativity scene that brought a sense of peace and focus to all of that confusion that reigned around it. This scene brings us that sense of peace in the midst of all of the confusion and chaos of our lives. But it's important that we remember that those who are in this scene didn't come to it out of a calm, quiet existence, but instead there was a great deal of confusion, fear, even pain leading up to this moment that is captured here. This past Sunday, we were reminded of Mary and Joseph and the shepherds' stories of encounter with angels. Mary and Joseph were both visited by angels with news that was mind-blowing. Mary is told that even though she has not yet come together with her betrothed, and she is going to have a baby by the power of God. This is impossible. This is so mind-blowing. And Mary has got to be so confused by it. She nonetheless says, "Be it to me just as you say, I'm the Lord's servant." Still, she must have all kinds of questions swirling around inside. And so she followed up on the angel's words. The angel had mentioned her cousin Elizabeth, who was also experiencing a miraculous birth, as Elizabeth and Zechariah were well past the years of having children, and yet they were going to have their firstborn, who would become John the Baptist. Mary went to visit her cousin Elizabeth, and there she found a deeper assurance and certainty that formed in her that allowed her to sing forth God's praises, giving glory to God, saying, "You have called me blessed, and people will call me blessed for ages yet to come." Now, that didn't rule out all of the problems. She still had to face her betrothed, who was going to find out that she was pregnant with a child that was not his. Well, Joseph, when he heard that news, it set off all kinds of chaos in him. There was confusion and frustration, fear, anger, all of those things certainly mixed together. And he thought, I am going to break this off. I will cut off my relationship with Mary. It was like divorcing her before they even got married. And Joseph didn't want to make her shame any greater and thought he would do it privately and quietly. But the angel visited him, and out of all of the unsettledness in his mind, brought him a peace. He was able to be confident that he could go forward in marrying his betrothed. Now, as the angel brought to them a sense of peace, all of the chaos and all of the challenges were not ended. They still had a very tough journey to get to Bethlehem. They had birth pains in the night, but God sent to them some other friends, brought shepherds out of the darkness with an angelic word that this child was indeed the Son of the Most High, was a blessing that would bring joy to all people. This scene, you see, is a scene like ours today, one that comes in the midst of all sorts of chaos, confusion, fear, brokenness, everything that we're experiencing now. And yet, the Prince of Peace arrives, and he still comes to you and me in our lives, right in the midst of all of our troubles. He is still the Prince of Peace. May God bless you today, and as you share this good news, may God make you a blessing wherever he takes you.